Welcome to another episode of the show. How are all you people doing? Wow, we have so many people already waiting for the show to begin. I'm amazed. I'm stoked. I'm happy. This is great. Hold on, I got to check something real quick. I have a guest coming on. I sent my guest the link to join. They'll probably be on in a minute. I'm going to do a little warm up like we've been doing on the show lately. Ooh. They had diet grapefruit soda at Wegmans. And I was like, I've never tried grapefruit soda. I love grapefruit. One of my favorite kind of fruits in the world. So I figured I'd try that out. This is really tickling my nose. How do these guys do this, man, with the devilock, like all the time? Like I could not deal doing this all the time. Like poor Doyle. No wonder Doyle is grumpy sometimes, to have to deal with this sort of situation. I understand. I empathize a little bit here, if I'm being honest. Thank you, sweet devilock. Thank you. Doyle had the most magnificent devilock. I don't know about that. I kind of think Jerry's devilock is great. I thought Glenn at the end. I like the Sam Hain devilock, though. It just like it didn't grow down. It went it went out. Jerry Only is not my guest tonight. I hope it's Bobby Steele. No, it's not Bobby Steele. It is someone who did play bass for one of those guys, though. Easy Elvis. Greetings from Germany. Hi, Thorsten. Thorsten or Thorsten? I apologize for butchering your name. Greetings from Germany. Why don't you collect pics from Misfits fans and their DLs? Would be interesting to see how far they go or did go. I have one in the end 80s. People didn't understood. Thorsten, I'm so sorry. I'm not following you here, buddy. You may not believe it, but some hours ago, I was asking myself this question. Who invented the the devilock? Thorsten, I'm so sorry, dude. Right over my head. And now the questions on this channel, spooky. Well, welcome to you, Thorsten. I don't know if it's your first time with us, but welcome. Someone with a big honker to hide, most likely. I take offense at that, Jerry Hess. I got a big schnozola. At least it was even bigger when I wasn't so fat. My face filled out, and my nose kind of fits in more with my face now. But shame on you, Jerry. Shame on you. Yeah, what's up, Rue Morik? How you doing? So, do you remember the Doyle fan club posters? I sure do. I got all the outtakes from those photos. You just reminded me of one more photo that I want for tonight's presentation. So I got to find it real quick. Let me see. Is this a good time, you guys? This was a little bit of a pain in the butt to do this time tonight, but I kind of like going earlier. Vampire Spike, how dare you? How dare you? This is a devilock. Actually, this is such a shitty devilock. Should I do this instead? Oh my god. I like that. That's a little bit more haggard. Do I remember who took those photos? I think it was Frank White. Don't quote me on that. Hold on. I'm going to the our Lodi group page. Hold on, let me see here. They came from Lodi. Can I ask you guys? I feel like nobody sees the stuff I post. I feel like I'm getting buried. There it is. I feel like I'm getting buried in the algorithm, and it really, really upsets me to no end. I get so annoyed because, here I am trying to like promote and post things, and nothing ever comes through. It's really frustrating. Really, really annoyed. About last week's episode, I just want to say a lot of people responded to my feelings about the Jerry Fits. I want to say, additionally, I listened to Dead Alive after our conversation, after we read his interview. I was inspired to watch Dead Alive, to listen to Dead Alive. And yeah, I thought that the non-grave stuff, it was the Jerry Only pen stuff. He sings very well live for obvious reasons, right? There's a reason why he sings it well live, because he sang it on the recording and yada yada yada. Jerry's Devilock comes of his piggy bank, but nowadays, haha, greetings from Brazil. Be nice, Magna. We rag on Uncle Jerry too much. Dude, you guys don't understand. My face is tickling from this Devilock. It's so annoying. Hi, Cyrus. How are you? Welcome to the show. Vic, greetings to Vic. What's up, buddy? Look at this guy saying this is a vampire spike. He has no idea. I'm gonna have to get rid of this. It doesn't work. This is not working. This is not working. Just about, not quite. Hi, JM. How are you? This is the warm-up section of the show. The warm-up. We just get all warmed up and spiffy. Oh, my countdown. Boy, today was nutso, man. Lots of nutso stuff happened. Not even worth talking about it. Mr. Mail Prick, with my favorite last name. How are you, sir? How are you doing, guy? How are you, man? Man, how are you doing, man? Good to see you. Good to see you. All right, let me do some update stuff real quick, and then we'll launch into the show, and hopefully my guest will show up. He is known for being fashionably late. In his defense, I did literally ask him today, so it was like he did not. He in his defense. I can't get mad at him for being late. I'm really getting sick of this. Maybe I should wrap this in like a rubber band or like a twisty tie or something. What's up, Winston? How are you? When you see other bands sport Devilocks, does it bum you out? No, not at all. Why would it? I think it's cool, man. I mean, listen, I literally have a Devilock right now. And when I tuck this back, when I tuck this back, you'll see what my hairstyle currently is. When I lost my job, I just started cutting my hair all funky because I had nowhere to go. I just was taking care of my kids. My wife was going to work every day. So I said, honey, just shave around the sides of my head. And I kept growing it longer and longer and longer. And now I have a Devilock, but I never take it out. So I've actually secretly had a Devilock under this hat for like every episode. I just decided to wear it because we're talking about Devilocks today. So that's why it's out. And I think it's cool if other bands sport Devilocks. Why not? Why not? It's a cool hairstyle. Let's popularize it. Come on. The Misfits can't. Well, the Misfits are going to sue us for wearing Devilocks too. It's like, it's like come on. Don't you want people to wear the cool hairstyle that you invented? That's right, kids. The Misfits invented the Devilock. That's the answer to the clickbaity question. It is the Misfits. We're going to talk more about that. Mr. JK Bro says, remember Glenn doing all the hair to one side, blocking an eye? What, like this? Yeah. Actually, this works a lot better. Wow. Holy crap. I can see why people do this. I know other people who do something similar because it really does tickle your nose, especially when I have such a nose that just sort of pushes out. Doesn't help me. Maybe he is sleeping. Possible. Remember Glenn? Yeah. Right. I already read that comment. Okay. So first of all, if you're just joining us, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Subscribe down below. Have your notifications turned off so you know when we're turning on. Michael Hall says, it's blasphemous to say, but my entire horror punk pedigree comes directly from the Morning Noise side of things, not directly from the Misfits. That's okay. Your Devilock looks awesome, and Glenn's is my favorite. Cool, man. First of all, thank you. And that's okay. You don't have to. There's no pedigrees here. I hate all that stuff. That's all pretentious nonsense. Don't worry about it. I see all the Facebook groups right now like, ooh, why are you talking about the Misfits? Why are you talking about my band? Talking about my band, not the Misfits. It's like, whatever, dude. People want to talk about the Misfits. We talk about the Misfits every day. Although for a while, I was highlighting bands. Like, for instance, Voice of Doom, John from Voice of Doom, he sent me some stuff. Robbie Bloodshed has sent me some stuff. If you send me some stuff, I'm going to pimp it on my show because I want to support the crap out of independent bands. I believe in supporting independent music. Cyrus says, I'm a bass player in a garage and I always wear a Devilock when I play. Exactly, Cyrus. Carry on as you should. Disappointed Glenn does not sport a Devilock in the reunion shows. I mean, I'm not going to touch that one with a 10-foot pole, but Glenn is Glenn. He does his thing. Good for him. On the flip side, I commend a lot of people hate on Jerry for having his Devilock. I commend the commitment to his Devilock. I think it's awesome. I think it gets cooler every year he's been doing it. I think it gets even cooler than the previous year. And I want him to never stop. And I think it's great. Totally guilty of what? I don't know what you're talking about. So basically, the new Misfits are embarrassing. I was so let down when they were formed. Yeah, but we're not noodles. We're not talking about that tonight. We're talking about the Devilock. I might as well. I guess we can sort of intro. I'm sure my guest will pop in. You guys will definitely know who my guest is, and he's a funny fellow. And I'm sure he will add to the conversation. So I'm going to try and taper it out until he gets here. Let me text him right now and just say he is wanted on the show. Joe. All right. The Devilock. So the Devilock is a hairstyle. This is a Devilock. I mean, it's right here. The Devilock is essentially a rat tail that grows out of the front of your face, right? The front of your head. It like comes down. You know what I'm saying? And you wear it like this. And it's like, it is the hairline that divides your eyes. It's the hairline that divides your eyes, but it's like a spike. It's a spike going down. Here's a question. If this is the Devilock, if I throw my spike up into a single point like a unicorn, is that an angel lock? Can I coin that right now? Has anybody ever thought to call that an angel lock? If not, I right here am. If I had an imaginary flag, I am planting it right now on the title Angel Lock. You flip it up like this. Hey guys. Hey guys, it's me. Check out my Angel Lock where I sing my what's the opposite of horror? Comedy punk. You wear an angel lock and you sing about comedy punk. Hey, this is my angel horn. This is my angel lock. Somebody has had to have thought of that, right? Am I not? I have to be. I could not be the first person to think of an angel lock. Am I? Angel lock. It's such a pretty. No, sorry. Mike says, where can we send you stuff? I'm in an 80s hardcore worshiping horror band called Cemetery Static. Find my contact is on the YouTube channel. You'll find my email. You can send it there, Mike. Uncle Floyd is not coming on the show. No, Jerry Only. Pretty right, Dagger. Am I right? Dagger, you never revealed your secret identity on Mike's podcast, but I thought that was super awesome. What a great memory to share in the show, and that he recognized you. I thought that was funny. Yo, that's what I'm saying, Rue. Angel Lock, man. I think it's like a horror punk version of a Dracula's Widow Peak. Just a thought. Vic, I'm 100% with you. I think I agree. It's an angel horn. It's an angel horn, but in keeping with the inverse, it's the opposite of the Devilock. I've coined this. I literally just invented this right now. The angel lock is something that you wear when you sing about comedy punk. Comedy punk, drama punk? Would it be drama punk? When you just, or is it a different sort of musical genre altogether? Maybe ska? I don't know. I need more insight on this, man. This thing is, what happens when it dries up? It just looks like crap. It's hard to keep a Devilock going. That's a unicorn, bro. You're right. You call it like you see it, man. You call it like you see it. A unicorn with two horns is a bicorn. Badass. I did not know that. Instead of spitting blood, you spit glitter. That's right. I agree. I got a horror punk band called Boogeyman. I'd love for you to hear it. Great bro, friggin' throw a link in the comments. First of all, for everybody, Winston has a horror punk band called Boogeyman. And yeah, dude, I'll pimp your shit. I will pimp that. I will pimp anything. I'm a goddamn pimp. Angel Lock, I praise you, God. God, this is so funny. If this guy doesn't show up, I could coast. Thank you, Noodles. Thank you. Any chance of Howie Pyro coming on the show still? I have to text Howie. I have his phone number. I'll text him and I will get probably on Pizza Punk. I could definitely easy to get Howie Pyro. I really think so. I don't think it'll be an issue at all. I think Howie would do it. I've interviewed Howie. He's in the documentary. I don't think it will be an issue at all. Guys, I can't stand the Devilock. I got to get rid of it. I'm going to flip my hat over. The Angel Lock is worn by Christian Horror. That's it. We have a winner, you guys. We figured it out. See, this was creative teamwork. The Angel Lock is worn by Christian horror punk bands. Although the Misfits 95 are a Christian horror punk band. That's right. Misfits 95 are a Christian horror punk band. They wear Devilocks. So how about them apples? They should have worn an Angel Lock and Christ the Conqueror. Robbie, exactly. Hi, Lizzie Graves. How you doing? Thanks for joining us. What Robbie said. Yeah, man, that's good. Look at this. This is like a car accident. A car accident that's happened out of nowhere. All right. So anyway, guys, we're talking about Devilocks. A Devilock is essentially the haircut that was invented by the Misfits. It started in somewhere in 1978, 1979. But we're here to tackle a controversy. Where is my co-host? Jesus. The Deadlines, Grave Robber, Blaster, the Rocket Man. Those are your bands. Those are your bands. King says, I have a horror punk band here in Dublin, Ireland called Lugosi. Check us out. Very cool, King. Very cool indeed. Let's see. Oh, yeah, it is 7:30. Yeah, dog. EST. Should have made my co-host is texting me that more clear. I am texting you live on the air. Get your butt in here if you can. If not, we will see you at 8:30. All right, there was a time shift. That's what happened. Oh, you're saying those are Christian horror punk bands. Thank you. So I did not know that. So there are Christian horror punk bands out there called the Deadlines, Grave Robber, and Blast the Rocket Band. So how does this work out exactly? Explain this to me real quick. How do you be a Christian? How does any of this stuff work? I listen to the Punk Rock NBA guy, and he talks a lot about all these emo bands being Christian bands. Is it in the lyrics that makes it Christian? Is it just that they're devout Christians who happen to play this music? Is there a message being promoted or proselytized through the music? How does it work? I don't know. Thought it was an Elvis thing. Johnny Bob, what are you talking about? The Christian horror punk thing? So anyway, so the Misfits popularized this hairstyle. I think they're just, interesting. You think that they're just open-minded Christians. That's cool. Hey, listen, I am not yucking. I am not yucking on anybody's yums. Whatever you were down with, whatever you were into, I am cool with that. I just was trying to figure out how it worked. Oh, that it was Elvis's thing. Got you. Thank you, Johnny Bob. Sorry. I'm a little slow tonight. No. As a matter of fact, this guy Sid Terror takes the credit for the Devilock. But we're going to explore Devilocks through the ages and where it comes from and yada. Oh my God, I forgot to find the African tribe that has the Devilock. If anybody could dig that up, somebody posted that recently on Facebook. Let's see if my co-host responded. No, he didn't. Maybe he's on his way. All right, I'm not waiting anymore. So this is where this all started, basically. Why I decided to do a show about Devilocks and why we're talking about Devilocks right now. A Devilock is self-explanatory at this point. It's a rat tail that grows in the front. It's a mean aggressive, sort of intimidating looking haircut. I think it's a cool looking haircut. Some would disagree. Some would say, no, it's not. Some people would call it stupid. Pretty much, I think pretty much if you see anybody in popular culture, I can't friggin' wear this thing, dude. It's too crazy. It keeps tickling my nose, and I already have problems with a tickly nose. Isn't the Devilock some kind of quiff, but downwards? I mean, yeah, Raphael, that's what I'm wearing right now. When you see somebody in popular like media, whether it's photos, whether it's TVs, movies, anything, you see somebody with hair in front of their face, it is most likely, it's just like 138, it's just like the Crimson Ghost. That person is a fiend, and they are trying to show off how much they are a fiend subversively. I think the greatest example of like subversion through mainstream pop culture comes from seeing the Crimson Ghost in the Saved by the Bell episode. We all know it. Jesse goes, "I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so scared." And right behind her is like a bootleg version of the eviLIVE poster. And it's so cool because you know that the set dresser in 1989 was like a fiend and put that up, and it got on national television. So the Devilock is like an extension of that sort of, when you see somebody wearing it. Another great example, look at the Danny California video in Red Hot Chili Peppers doing the Danny California video. California, California. Every single song that sings California. And they're doing music through the ages, and Anthony Kiedis has the Devilock in front of his face to represent the Misfits when they're doing like sort of like a goth alternative thing. It was like a smash up. It was a mashup of every, style you could imagine and whatnot, that sort of deal, yada, yada, yada. So yeah, there's that. But this is what gave me the inkling. Actually, Michael is here. Where I just saw Michael's comment. When I had my Devilock, it was hard to eat soup. Guys, if any of you have experiences with Devilocks, I want to hear about them in the comments. Michael commented, this guy Michael Hall right here, he commented on the Mike Hideous interview. Go check that out. He commented about this guy, Sid Terror. And you know what's funny, Michael? At the time I said I didn't know who he was. I think I did know about that guy. But I was never been terribly familiar. The term Sid Terror sounded roughly familiar to me, but I didn't really know anything about a claim about him saying that he was the guy who invented the Devilock and that the Misfits copied him. And I thought it would be interesting to talk about it and look into it and sort of do a little, elaboration on it and talk about Devilocks and this, that, and the other. But before I do, we need to begin the show. But before I can begin the show, I just want to update you. I'm still knee deep in the Bobby Steele interview. As a matter of fact, let's see. Here's another clip of Bobby real quick for you guys. There's another Bobby Steele clip.
Traveling back in time.
Bobby's so funny. Let's watch it one more time. This is the interview. This was the second interview we did, and look at all the cool stuff he has behind him. That's Glenn's No Fun shirt. There's some Horror Business shirts. That's a Max's. They recorded that show. That's the 1978 show. That's been recorded. It was recorded by George Germain. This is a shirt that Jerry and Glenn had pressed up because Jerry and Glenn used to make shirts on the side. This is the Monster Movie Club, Club 57. So that Halloween show in 1979, the Misfits big show that they did that started the tradition of them playing around Halloween time. This was the sort of the first one where they dressed up. You've seen Glenn in his ghoul makeup, and we cover it very in-depthly in 1979. But the Misfits used to hang out at the Monster Movie Club, and that's why he has that there. And that's the Animal shirt. You can see the Animal shirt behind him, and this was from a photo shoot and an uncut Night of Living Dead sleeve here. And all of this, those are the amps that he used to record Horror Business and Night of the Living Dead. They're right behind him. Those are his guitars. These guitars were used for Misfits. So he had all his stuff behind him when he did this second of 3 interviews. So I'm knee deep in those interviews. I'm pulling selects, guys. The process is coming along nicely. I've been in talks about a couple of things related to They Came From Lodi. We've come up with a couple of ideas. I've come up with a couple of ideas that I think are going to be really, really stupendous and great. And I can't wait to share more of them with you. Additionally, if you are a fan of Return of the Living Dead, the sequel to Night of the Living Dead, the punk rock movie Return of the Living Dead, I interviewed the production designer, William Stout. I've had the interview sitting on my hard drive for a while, and I have to edit it up because we did it over a Zoom call and we had some dropouts, and I wanted to make it look nice and silky smooth for you guys. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Additionally, what's the last thing I wanted to mention to you? Oh yes, final thing. So I've been working on sort of a scripted video, it's a scripted, more polished video like 1979. It's about Screamin' Jay Hawkins. Has nothing to do with the Misfits. It's nothing to do with anything. I just want to start doing more polished videos, but much like 1979, I have just gotten so carried away with this video that I thought would be a couple of minutes, and it's turning into this much longer thing. So if you want to learn about Screamin' Jay Hawkins, this is going to be a very in-depth, deep dive about Screamin' Jay Hawkins. It's going to be here on the channel. So if you're new to the channel, please make sure you like this video. Please leave a comment, and please, 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 more than anything, subscribe. If you are not subscribed, subscribe. If you want to know when we go live and come in and join these conversations, turn your notifications on. Jay, do you think the emo movement in some time and way appropriated itself of the Devilock? You know, Raphael, that is a very profound question, and you might be onto something. I don't know, man. I honestly don't know. I think that kind of evolved organically on its own in the same way that the Devilock did. Because at the end of the day, here, Ben says, I think the emo hairstyle was popular in the 2000s, probably in some way influenced by the Devilock. It was also pretty hip haircut in Japan for a while. Interesting. Looking forward to the Screamin' Jay Hawkins. Hell yeah. That's right. You see, I'm Screamin' Jay Pizza right now. Didn't change my thing. That's the main thing to take away about, who created the Devilock. And I truly believe in my heart of hearts, I think Jerry Only created the Devilock. I think that the Devilock was a springboard between Jerry Only and Glenn Danzig. And it started with Jerry. We're going to hear all about it. We're going to hear all about it in a little bit. But I think it started with Jerry Only and Glenn, and they just sort of ran with it, and it evolved into this thing that grows between your eyes and down on top of your nose. And again, if you get your Devilock really good, you could chew on it. You could chew on your Devilock too. We'll put it to the side until we need it again for later because it's really bothering me. But the Devilock definitely takes influence from a lot of other things too. I think that the Misfits, and again, this is all speculation, as always. Speculation time, everybody. Oh shit, we didn't do the we forgot to do the thing. Listen, Nigel from Horror Story down in New Zealand added to the theme for They Came From Lodi, and I have yet to improve the video. So for right now, this is what we got.
Is gonna talk about the Misfits right now. He's a nerd about this stuff, obsessed anyhow. Jeff never shuts his face, always needs to talk. Might show some weight if he went out for a walk. Do you think Dancy cares? He doesn't care. He's not into ranch.
Yeah, that's right. All right, and then just for Nigel, since I haven't included it yet in the thing, I'm going to include Nigel's thing too, if I could find it here, because I feel bad because Nigel went to all this trouble. This guy went to all the trouble to record the thing, and I haven't added it yet. I just haven't had the time. Crap, I can't find it, Nigel. Don't hate me, dude. I feel so bad because he went to the trouble. Here it is. Found it. All right, we're gonna do this one too, real quick. Ready? Yeah. Okay, there we go. Now the show has officially begun, everybody. Show has officially begun. Let's go with the comments. Should try to get Lloyd Kaufman on Pizza Punk. I bet he would do it. And the Devilock is their take on the greaser hairstyle. 100%, Paul, you are correct. It is their take kind of on the greaser hairstyle because the Misfits are greasers from the future of the 1950s in the late 70s, early 80s. And as for Lloyd Kaufman, I did do an interview with Lloyd Kaufman back in 2018, and maybe I'll put it on Pizza Punk, but I've actually had Lloyd Kaufman on my other show called Little Talk of Horrors, which did not take off at all. So there's that. Yeah, baby. He's a nerd about this stuff. Who's a nerd about this stuff? Me? It would be cool in black and white. I know I should do that. I thought it was in part inspired by Dracula's Widow's Peak and an over-exaggerating the point. I guess it is, man. If you think about what hardcore is and like what heavy metal is and like what loud hard rock is, and it's like the Devilock is like the Widow's Peak to the extreme, right? Like if you think about like a waveform, like an audio waveform when stuff peaks, you know what I mean? Like it spikes up and peaks. Like this is the Devilock, is the extreme version of that Dracula Widow's Peak. That's another way. I like that. That's like poetry, man. I agree with that. But I think it takes from a lot of things. And if you guys stick around, I'm gonna play you something, a little treatsy treat from the music might be an issue. I did not think about that. I might not be able to play this. I was going to play you something from They Came From Lodi, from the sizzle reel about Devilocks. I think I have to play it. I talked about it. I have to play it. I would be a ginormous jerk if I didn't play it, right? It's in the song. From what I heard, it was inspired by Eddie Munster. Yeah, I mean, Eddie Munster is in there too, for sure. Yes, I actually have Squiggy. That's where I have up there. Let's dive into it. So as I mentioned, this guy Mike brought to my attention that Sid Terror says that he invented the Devilock. That's what I thought, man. Actually, it seems not only the Devilock influenced lots of styles, but also the same Hayden Misfits imagery and aesthetics. That sure, you're right. You're right, Raphael. Hold on. All right, guys. So now I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to show you the first part of my thing. Yay! Yay, everybody. All right, share screen. Oops. Here it is. Okay, so this guy right here, he's here. He's here with us. I don't know if he's still here. This guy, Michael Hall, this is what he said on the Mike Hideous interview. Go check out that interview if you get a chance. That's on this channel. He said, stellar interview. I think Mike had great character and vocal style to replace Graves permanently. Let's not talk about that now because that's not what tonight's episode is about. This is what he asked. This is why I brought up Michael Hall. I was also curious on if you have ever covered the Sid Terror's Undead and Jerry Only's pen pal thing with the already established. Already established is so not the way to put this, Mike, by the way. Totally disagree with you on that. Technically established, but come on. Already established San Francisco horror punk band proving that band for probing. Oh, I see. Sorry. With the already established San Francisco horror punk band probing that band for info and such. As the story goes, that Jerry ripped off the Devilock and almost everything that the Misfits are known for from Sid Terror's Undead. This seems like it would truly be a revelation and the elephant in the room, so to speak, as to get a definitive yes or no to these rumors. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Mike, for leaving the comment and inspiring this episode. I just want to give you the credit. And then to continue, and by the way, I 100% vehemently disagree with this notion. I do not think that's the case at all. I think that the Misfits stole nothing from Sid Terror. I think Sid Terror is trying to drum up some clout, and we'll take a look at that in 1 second. Michael Hall and I went back and forth because I said to him in response, I said, I'm not familiar with Sid Terror. I'm not sure who that is. Can you elaborate? And Michael Hall says, this band started in 75, 76, and Jerry was pen pals with Sid and was eager to connect with him. As the story goes, he says, as the story goes, as if this is like some sort of legend that, I mean, I never heard of this legend. As the story goes, as the story goes, basically the Misfits stole the whole image and stuff from them. And since the Misfits did it better, they became the face of this legacy, and the Undead were left holding the you-know-what and relegated to the trash with no mention of their contributions to what came after. What? I don't know what's true, but Sid Terror has a lot of evidence to back up his claims, and I thought, as good a researcher as you are, you most of all could get the truth for us and have no catharsis. That have no catharsis with it. Sorry, I'm a terrible reader, in case you didn't know. Here's this website that's been up forever, it seems. Thank you again for your passion. I really do appreciate you bringing this up, Mike. It's a great topic, and I totally think that's not the case at all, but we'll go through it. And then I responded to him, and then he said this. Mike, the final thing that Michael says is, the whole cloud of mystery, rumor, and doubt has been heavy in my circles, so it's good to get some clarity on the issue and finally put a stake through the heart of this once and for all. You know, it's rarely ever discussed, so speculation runs rampant. Thanks for looking into it, good sir. Thank you, dude. Thank you. You said I had the best content on YouTube. I don't think that's true, but you know, we try to do good things here. Also, I can't say enough. Right. Yes. Mike. Yes, indeed. All right. So then I went to Sid Terror's website. Okay. He says, it's all rumor and conjecture needed to be clear up. That's what Michael says. Thank you, Michael, for saying that. The first year of growing the Devilock is horror. After that, you can put it behind you. You're right. It's super uncomfortable. Like right now, I'm in terrible comfort, but if I pull it all the way down, eventually it'll go over my shoulder like a Continental Soldier, and then I won't have to deal with it. And I do kind of look like I got a seam emo haircut right now. So there's that. King, I agree. I don't buy that story either. So this is ready. Are we ready for the big drum roll? This is what. Look at this guy. Look at this jabron here. Look at him. So this is what he claims. So first, let's take a look. This comes from his website. Okay. Let's take a look right there. This guy claims that is the Devilock that Jerry Only ripped off from him when he was a pen pal, right? When he was a pen pal. I call shenanigans. Absolutely not. First of all, look at how, this is what he says. This photo was on the cover of the 1978 I Was a Teenage Vampire single. About that same time, a band from New Jersey that was still sporting blue hair. So he's saying, thinks the whole band, this guy is so out of touch with the Misfits, a band that was still sporting blue hair, suddenly wanted to be our new best friends and pen pals. It was pretty obvious that the vampire stake inspired the Devilock. As soon as it became a thing and a part of the uniform for some folks, Sid changed his hairdo. Okay. Let's break this mother F down. And then here's the one other picture that I was able to find. So out of all the pictures on the whole worldwide internet of Sid Terror are just these two pictures. And mind you, this picture and this picture right here are undated. This one, I can't speak for this one. This one looks like he was younger when he took it. That could be from the late 70s. This one absolutely looks photoshopped. That is photoshopped as fuck. Look at this. Look at that. Look, you can see right here. You can clearly see that he darkened this part right here and made a Devilock, dude. 100% photoshopped. I don't buy it. Not for a second. It calls it the vampire steak, which I like. I think that's a cool name. Now, is it possible? Let's throw this picture away because this picture is just garbage. This is a garbage picture. This was directly screenshot from this website. This is garbage. Now, here's the other thing. 1978, I was a teenage vampire. I tried to find the single. I tried to find something on Discogs. I'll show you. I tried. I really did. I tried to research this, and I could find absolutely nothing but this claim. Okay? Nothing but this claim. Glenn said in the Pusshead interview that some kid's mother referred to them as the Misfits, those kids with the devil locks on their heads. Yes, I believe that was Steve Zing's mom. It was either Steve Zing's mom or maybe it might have been Glenn's mom. Come to find out that there's an African tribe who wore their hair like that. They called the Devil's Lock. Yes. And somebody found some pictures or video of this tribe in one of the Facebook groups I'm in. And I wish I had it and I don't. Yes. Lizzie, this is exactly. So look, Lizzie rang the bell just now. Hold on. Ready? So here we go. This is what I had all ready to go just to show you. Flock of Seagulls. Boom. What is that right there? The same freaking haircut, dude. You're going to tell me that this dude's trying to pass this off? He's got a Flock of Seagulls haircut with the two wings that come up. If anybody wants to dispute Glenn Danzig for the Devilock, Glenn and Jerry, it would be the Flock of Seagulls guy for sure. 1,000,000,000% the Flock of Seagulls guy. Look at him. He's got a straight up Devilock right there. Now, when did Flock of Seagulls become a band? I want to know. They became a band. Mike Score's the name of the guy. 1979 is when Devilock, when a Flock of Seagulls became a band. So if anybody is going to, give give Glenn and Jerry a run for their money over, inventing a flip over hairstyle that ends at a point, I really, really think it's the Flock of Seagulls guy. That's who I want to give all the credit to. Look at that dude. That dude is sporting that's a Devilock. No, that's an angel. That's an angel lock right there. I guess that's what an angel lock is, huh? I still like my definition of an angel lock, but that is an angel lock too. Look at that. What a hairstyle. People make fun of it, but I think it's really cool. I really do. I think it's kind of badass, man. Lazy Graves. Did the Devilock low-key invent emo hair? I mean, that's what someone was saying earlier, and you might be, maybe you guys are right. It kind of does. 80s haircut. Sorry, Lizzie, autocorrect. No worries. I couldn't find the Undead's discography. It's sketchy as fuck now that you show us what's up. In my case, it's closed now. Oh, he died? Wait, Sid Terror is passed away? I feel terrible for bad-mouthing him. You don't speak ill of the dead. You just can't speak ill of the dead. The Angel Lock is just a blonde. I think this is the Angel Lock, guys. I was wrong. This is the Angel Lock. We can call this I don't know, a unicorn lock or a devil spike. The Flock of Seagulls haircut is an angel lock for sure. Because exactly, Mike's got it right. It's got the wings and everything. Angel Lock. He is your Lord and Savior, Angel Lock. No, his claims are dead. That's right. I think he meant Sid's argument. Yeah. Thank you for clarifying, you guys. So I'm going to go with this guy. I know that they started. Now here is Discogs. So I went to Discogs, right? And there is only one record for them. There's nothing about what does he call it? A teenage what? I was a teenage werewolf. I was a teenage vampire. There's no single on Discogs called The Teenage Vampire. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. correct me if I'm wrong, kids, but is Discogs not the IMDb for musicians, right? Like, you're not like minted as a musician if your shit is not on Discogs in some way, shape, or form. I know that a lot of stuff is not on Discogs, but I'm just saying if you want to make your shit official, you put it on Discogs. And that's what us as music, I'm a filmmaker. Filmmakers, we put all our stuff on IMDb. That's how, and some people even, it's like it doesn't exist if it's not on IMDb. I'm not saying that I Was a Teenage Vampire doesn't exist. I'm just saying it's not there. It's not there at all. Literally, when you search in Google, I Was a Teenage Vampire does not come up at all. Let's search for it, guys. Let's do it. Let's prove it right now. Prove us wrong, Sid Terror. Prove us wrong. Sid Terror is the Undead. Or here, let's just do Undead, because I believe they used to go by Undead. I did find something interesting about Sid Terror, though. Okay, here we go. It says song information. I Was a Teenage Vampire. Okay. We did find one thing. How about that? Okay. It says release date 2003. All right, it's available on First, Worst, and Cursed. All right, so let's take a look at this. All right, guys, I might have spoken a little too soon here. I might be wrong. It's okay to be wrong. People can be wrong. Let's see what it says credits. It seems that First, Worst, and Cursed is nothing more than a compilation, right? That's it. It's a compilation. Dee Dee Ramone and Joey Ramone sang on in the backing vocals on some stuff. Let's see here what it says about The Undead, right? Yeah. So for this version of The Undead, there is one album, and it came out in 2003. There's no mention, there's no information on it that tells us when these songs, so let's say that I Was a Teenage Vampire did come out in 1978. I have not seen a single shred of evidence that it came out in 1978. Now, even if it did come out in 1978, let's give our buddy the benefit of the doubt. But even if it did come out in 1978, do you still characterize this? I lost my thing. Do you still, what is that? We don't want to hear that. Oh, crap. Damn it. You can get in trouble there. You get in trouble. Here's this is a Sid Terror music video for Vampire Goes to Hollywood. We'll mute it. Vampire. It looks like he made a bunch of really sort of like cheesy, weird music videos. This is all from Sid Terror's Undead, right? That's Sid Terror right there. There he is. That's him today. Look at him. He's still out there. And of course, he conveniently stopped doing the Devilock because, so let me get this straight. This guy right here, Sid Terror, was pen pals with Jerry Only. Jerry Only stole his Devilock, and then he stopped wearing it because they popularized it. And that's it. If you invented the Devilock, you would hold on to that invention. I don't think you would try and you would just give up on it and change your hairstyle. I think this dude is just trying to take credit for something that he, didn't make. Maybe he was doing something sort of similar because, again, take a look at this thing right here. But with these giant horns in the back, does that make it a Devilock? I don't know. Is it Devilock-like? Absolutely. Were the Misfits the first to do anything Devilock-like? No. But did the Misfits invent this hairstyle, incorporate it with spooky music? Yes. I mean, here's the other thing too. Before this guy, let's go back to Sid Boy here. Look, before Sid, before any of them, Vampira, she had She had a little Devilock there, right? People have said Squiggy. Let's take a look at Squiggy. There's your boy Squiggy. He had a little thing going. Matter of fact, it looks like Squiggy. This is what Jerry Only started with, right? Jerry Only started with the what's it called? With doing the wave, the Superman curl, and it got longer and longer, and he didn't cut it, and it was kind of like a Squiggy. As a matter of fact, maybe he was inspired by Squiggy, as you know, that was very popular on TV a few years before the Misfits. I mean, it's amazing when you look at it. Look at Squiggy here, and then there's Jerry Only with his long. It just kept getting longer and longer, like the natural evolution of it all. You know what I mean? That's his Facebook page. There's Glenn. So this is what I wanted to show you. This was a photo. Somebody posted this in my Facebook group today. Here's a photo of Glenn. It's a photo by Mark Barry. It was taken in 1982 with Jennifer Moldwin. And look at how Glenn has shaped his Devilock. Here, I'll make this a little bit bigger. And as you can see, it looks like he's sort of let this grow really, really, really long in front, and he's just trimmed it. He's trimmed it here on the sides, and he's trimmed it here on the sides, and then pushed it all towards the center, right? Pretty cool. She's wearing a Bullet t-shirt right there. That's sporting of a proper Devilock. Is that anything like what this jabron has here? I find this so hilarious to this guy. So the Sid Terror's origins can be traced to late 75, early 76, when Sid, a new transplant into, let's see here. Sorry, I can't. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger on my end. When Sid, a new transplant to Northern California from the East Coast, Milford, Connecticut, which is funny because that's where Bobby is originally from. No, he's from Milford, New Jersey. First put the band together with schoolmates at Campbell High School in Campbell, California. So he's claiming that without playing a single live show, without putting out a single record, he's established the band in 1975. How much does a band really mean anything until they start playing out live, until they start putting out records? Guys, I see so many comments. I'm going to get to them in just a second, I promise. In early 1977, Sid Terror moved to the Los Angeles area with a new lineup of the band members found in the rock and roll underbelly of Hollywood. The Undead, as they were calling themselves then, started playing clubs and quickly booked some studio time to record a handful of songs. So by 77, they're recording songs, two of which became their first single, which was Breakfast Cereal Deviant with Supermarket Music, with Sid's old friends, Joey and Dee Dee Ramone, leading backup vocals on the song Supermarket Music. So his old friends that he met, how are they his old friends if the Ramones got their start in 1974 and it's early 1977 when the Ramones are just really starting to break out at that time? I don't know, whatever. Not a bad start for a relatively new band, building a street reputation on loud, fast, horror movie-based songs and in-your-face, blood-splattered, sometimes literally stage performances. Before long, the band was playing shows up and down the West Coast. Their first real tour was scheduled to begin in late October and early November 1977 to help kick off the coming release of their second single around Halloween time. See, I think this is all revisionist history, and I'm going to explain why, because I found a little interview with Sid Terror where he admits to a few things. This is like a revisionist Johnny-come-lately. I want to cash in on being the inventor of horror punk. You know what's funny about the Misfits? The Misfits never called themselves horror punk. They were just punk rock. They were just horror rock. They were just a thing. Horror punk didn't really come until the 90s, okay? Like the idea, like the real, sort of, retroactive labeling of bands as horror punk comes in the 1990s. And frankly, it really truly comes with the New Misfits. The New Misfits get back, and you had like the Independents, and you had the Groovy Ghoulies were around, and some other bands. You had the Mummies, who really, hey, look who's here. Look who's here. He's on time, but he's an hour late. And I guarantee you the conversation is going to go off the rails in 2 seconds. Ready? Let's see. Hold on. I got to put this back for my guest. All right. I'd like to introduce my guest tonight. You might recognize him. He's played in a whole variety of bands. Mr. Monster, Gotham Road, Darrow. He's the front man and brainchild of Darrow Chemical Company, yada, yada, yada. It's Joe Vasta. Oh, man, look, we caught him picking his nose. Dude, you got to do something about that music. I can hear myself. I can hear it. Wait, echo.
Out of your mind.
What? Oh, never mind. Okay, we're cool.
So,
Joe, what's going on with you? Notice anything different about me? Huh?
Oh, you devil locking, bro? Look at you locking over there.
Yeah, I thought I'd do it. You know, I've had my hair. I've had my hair sort of shaped like this for a while. I've been sort of on the low growing devil lock without telling anybody about it.
Fucking A.
Yeah, I figured why not? This is the perfect time to just sort of do it. You know. You know what I could do? Joe, you could pick your nose with your devil lock too, if you want to.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it either, but you could. Oh! Oh, wow. Wow, look at that thing. Good for you.
I'm not quite Mike Hideous, but
yeah, you actually that looks like big 95 Michael Graves. A little bit.
Wow.
When Mike still had the hair at the side. A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
So Joe, I don't know if you're familiar with the Sid Terror. What do you know about the Sid Terror situation thing?
Dude, is Sid Terror the guy from the other Undead?
Yes.
Right? He's the guy from the Los Angeles Undead.
Yes.
From what I understand, he's a good egg in my camp.
It's not about being a good. It's not about being a good or bad egg. The guy is taking credit. He said this guy literally says.
I didn't even know that. I'll be honest with you. I don't even know why you invited me on the show on this topic, because I'm learning too here, man.
Bro, I'm learning too.
Is he saying he took the devil lock? He's saying he did it first.
He's saying he did it first, and like I said, I don't know very much about this. I figured it would be good to have a bouncing board. That's why I literally asked Joe to be on here last minute. I was just like, Joe, why don't you come on the show? Hold on.
No. So, but you know what? Before we even go any further, you were talking about the term horror punk before, bro.
Yes.
I've been in a horror punk band since 1996.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I never heard that term until about 2001.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. It's a late.
Yeah.
Listen, here's Joe. Correct me if I'm wrong.
We called it horror rock, or it was death rock, right. But it was horror rock would be.
This guy, I'm with a guy who was here at the beginning of that stuff. Okay, I think this guy is more informed than anybody else to let us know when horror punk. So the fact that Sid Terror is saying we invented horror punk or we started this horror punk thing, I think is ridiculous. Joe, tell me if I'm correct on this. You had Groovy Ghoulies, you had the Independents, you had a couple of bands, but after the Misfits reform in 95 or whatever, the new version of the Misfits come is when around 97, 98, all of a sudden everything else stops popping out. You have like Blitzkid, you have Mr. Monster, you have Crypt Keeper 5, you got The Spook, you got Green Goblin Project, I think. Like all these bands that kind of fit in the label you're talking about, they all kind of come towards the late 90s.
That depends. You're getting very specific in calling it horror punk.
Okay.
It was horror rock a second ago before that, or it was death rock or whatever. It's whatever. I think it's whatever the people were calling it, man. Like, I mean, you could be that. You're right. You could be that specific about it and call it horror. It might be better to call it horror punk. Everything, resurrected Misfits forward. You might confuse a lot less.
I think.
But are the Misfits, the Misfits, the inventors of horror punk still? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, horror punk, the term horror punk specifically as to.
Hold on, you got to start over. You got to start over. We both froze out for a second. Go ahead, say that whole thing again.
I think you just knocked your headphones off.
No, I didn't.
The term horror punk, as in punk, not rock or death rock or whatever. Punk.
Yeah.
Is just specific to 2001, man, or to the early 2000s.
Brickbat.
That's just what people started calling. Yeah, that's just it. I don't know, man. I feel like the resurgence of the Misfits, that like that early '90s thing, resurged the horror punk movement. You know, like more people became interested. Not to say that there weren't bands before that. Sure, there were. There were bands that the initial Misfits influenced. There were bands like the Manimals that were going on during the Misfits.
Right.
There, you know, like
yes,
there's plenty of shit that was good. And not to say the Misfits might not have even fucking coined horror punk to begin with. If you want to get if you're going to get that technical. But for argument's sake, yeah, they coined it. Of course they did.
Well,
we're still.
Wait, you're talking about the original Misfits?
Yeah, of course not, man.
No, I mean, first of all, and again, you know, there are other bands called the Misfits before the Misfits. Okay, that's number one. Number two,
listen, how technical are you going to get?
I'm not going to get technical, but you know, it's funny. I'm doing a video on Screaming Jay Hawkins right now, and if you want to get really technical, the horror thing in rock really begins, in my opinion, the very first guy to really do that sort of thing in any way, shape, or form is Screaming Jay Hawkins, hands down.
Yeah,
the father of injecting, doing a theatrical, visual, spooky element to, you know, intensify his stage show comes from Screaming Jay Hawkins. And all the shock rockers, they all trace back to this dude. He is the OG. Hold on. Let's go to some comments real quick. Let's see here. Agreed. Okay, so someone's agreeing with me. So Rue agrees with me. Discogs is legit because I was saying this guy right here.
What do you mean Discogs is legit? I could start a Discogs profile right now and start making up genres all day.
No, that's not what I'm talking about, Joe. Look.
Okay.
This is let me read this to you. This guy claims. Can you see my screen right here? I don't know if you could see on your thing. Do you see this?
Yes, sir.
This guy is claiming that this is a photographic evidence of him with a devilock before the Misfits. And if you look closer at the situation, that's
Sid Terror?
That's Sid Terror. And this is so photoshopped, in my opinion. Look at that. Look at the way that he brought this into MS Paint and painted part of it black to make it look like it goes down.
Serious?
Look at the shitty moon, man.
Are you serious?
Am I serious? What? About what?
You seriously? That's photoshopped? You're for real?
I think that's 100% photoshopped.
Let me see it again. Read it.
I just think you can't see it the way I see it on my screen, but
I'll give you that.
I think that he is without a doubt, coloring in. And you know what? Sid Terror right now. I don't know if Sid Terror would ever watch this, but Sid Terror, show us some photographic evidence, mother effer. Show us the evidence, man.
Listen,
use this photo to say that you invented the devilock. It's bullshit.
I like to believe I like to believe what Jerry Only says.
Yes, me too.
There's a specific interview where Jerry Only talks about, and I think that he was the most honest in this interview, is where he refers. Is that Sid Terror? When is the year? So what year is that?
See, this could be the late 70s. But here's what I want to ask you, Joe. Look at this. He
didn't popularize it. I'll tell you that much. We're not wearing devilocks. We're not wearing devilocks because of fucking Sid Terror. That's for sure.
Yeah, but Joe, now look at this right here. Look at Flock of Seagulls. He copied the Flock of Seagulls guy. That's all he did.
Listen, man, you can only put your hair so many ways, man. You're an entertainer. You want to do some zany shit. You got to stand out in the crowd. It ain't easy.
See, this is why I wanted a co-host today, you guys. This is perfect because Joe is is the perfect bouncing board for some of these things.
It's kind of hard to pin down. No, listen, what I was saying was in a certain interview, Jerry Only says what I believe most is that he was looking at Superman and the little curl he would have, and he was like, yeah. I believe that more than fucking anything, man.
Yes,
I believe that man looked at Superman on his wall and goes, yeah.
And it evolved.
Let's go one step further. What would this be called if your hair kept growing here? This is a widow's peak, right?
Right. I have one.
I have a widow's peak as well. Eddie Munster had an exaggerated widow's peak because widow's dead. Fucking monsters, fucking death.
And there you go. There's Vampira. Vampira also had.
That's what I'm saying. Also had. Yeah, it's exaggerated, man. I think that the devilock. I think the devilock is an exaggeration of the widow's peak.
It is. The reason why I brought
that's
up
really what we're saying here. You know,
yes,
like
look,
it's an exaggerated widow's peak.
This is why I bring up Discogs, because so I go to the Discogs to go, okay, he says that he did the Devil's Lock, he did the he calls it the vampire steak, Joe. He says it's the vampire steak.
Not bad. Yo, I can hear you. Keep talking. I just got to go let my dog in.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'll explain.
I can hear you.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna talk. I'm gonna read you what he says, Joe. This is what he says on his website about. Everybody else heard this already, but I'm going to read this for Joe. Ready? Joe, he says, this photo, he's saying that this photo was the cover of 1978, I Was a Teenage Vampire. So he's saying that this photo is from 1978, this photoshopped piece of crap. And he says, about the same time, a band from New Jersey that was still sporting blue hair suddenly wanted to be our new best friends and pen pals. It was pretty obvious that the vampire steak inspired the Devilock. As soon as it became a thing and a part of a uniform for some folks, Sid changed his hairdo.
Okay. I believe it.
I don't believe it.
Why not?
Because why wouldn't he post the letters with Jerry Only back and forth? And you're telling me in written pen pal letters, he goes, hey, Jerry, I do this thing called the vampire steak for my haircut. And Jerry Only said,
Jerry might have ripped his friend off. Jerry might have ripped his buddy off. His buddy in a band that no one knew of.
Okay, but
he knew was going nowhere and doing nothing.
Yes, but why not post the letters? Why is there no proof? There is so much proof of Jerry Only
from 1970 something. What? Who's got letters?
1978.
I would have letters from 1978. But who has letters from 1978?
Joe, you are a guy that holds on to everything. You're an archivist. You're telling me and what do you, Joe? What do you do when you want to show people some stuff? You post it on fucking Facebook. You're telling me that this motherfucking guy wouldn't fucking post a letter from himself to Jerry Only and back and forth to show that he blatantly ripped off by Jerry Only. I don't believe it. I think it's bullshit.
I think it's completely plausible to say that he doesn't have it anymore. That's
what he does. He revels in plausibility. He walks on clout in the plausibility, and that's what upsets me. Because I think it's so obviously not true. I just don't believe it.
Listen, man,
and the reason why I bring up Discogs,
Misfits ripped off a ton of shit. The Misfits ripped off a ton of shit.
Well, I was going to get to that.
Caught red-handed guilty for ripping off a ton of shit.
I was going to get to that. Yes, but
they popularized all of it. What good was the Crimson Ghost until the Misfits came around and made it fucking popular? What good was the Devilock when Sid Terror was wearing it, walking around fucking wherever he's from? Is he from LA like as a kid?
From LA. But wait, here I have some further evidence because he also takes credit for he said somewhere on his website about inventing horror punk or something. And it's just not true. The reason why I bring up Discogs is because Discogs is a place where people log records. Why is there not a single record logged for 1978 I Was a Teenage Vampire? Come on.
Can we petition for the term horror punk to be in like Merriam-Webster's dictionary?
It probably is. It probably already is. Let's read some of these comments, Joe.
I want to read on paper what the definition of horror punk. You know,
I'll do it right now. We'll pull up the Urban Dictionary.
Oh well.
Well, that's as close as we're going to get.
I could write the Urban Dictionary definition for something today.
You know what you sound like? You sound like one of those people who's like, well, how do you know that Google didn't make it up? You know what I'm saying? Like.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Come on.
Well, we're in a day and age where that's dude. I'm no conspiracy.
What about horror punk on Wikipedia? What about Wikipedia?
No, because I could go edit that right now. I could fucking put that Jeff has a fucking big nose right now.
Yeah, it's true. Look at this. There's a picture of you right there on underneath the horror punk page. You can't see it. That's you in a photo with Blitz Kid underneath the horror punk genre. How about that?
Am I picking my nose?
No, it's the Barb. It's the picture that Barb took, which I found, by the way.
I found all those under something,
dude. I found all those prints. Like I'm sure they're worth something. It's signed by all you guys. Should I ever come time to auction stuff? So it says horror punk is a musical genre that mixes proto-gothic and punk rock sounds with morbid and violent imagery and lyrics, which are often influenced by horror films and science fiction B movies. The genre is similar to some to and sometimes
killing your
overlaps.
Girlfriend.
Yes, and killing your girlfriend, and sometimes overlaps with death rock. Although death rock leans more towards an atmospheric gothic rock sound, while horror punk leans towards a 1950s influenced doo-wop and rockabilly sound. And where does that come from? Horror punk music is typically more aggressive and melodic than death rock. Many acts employ a tongue-in-cheek, humorous, or satirical approach to the genre. The Misfits and their first lead vocalist, Glenn Danzig, are recognized as the progenitors of horror punk. Bands like the Undead, found by ex-Misfits guitarist Bobby Steele, Screaming Dead, The Damned, The Cramps, TSOL, 45 Grave, and Rosemary's Babies are also considered classic horror punk bands. More recent acts include Murder City Devils, Blitzkid, The Rosdales, Mr. Monster, that's you,
Rosedales,
and some releases from AFI and Alkaline Trio. Horror punk is generally apolitical. I would disagree with that. In comparison to other punk rock genres, subgenres,
what was it? Horror punk is generally apolitical, it said?
Apolitical. And let me clarify that statement. I said this on one of my shows. I know you're rolling your eyes. Just hear me out. What about the politics of being a teenager, Joe? Those are politics.
Then everything's fucking politics.
That is politics.
We're getting very specific today. I noticed the theme of today's show is getting
No. In any case,
I can tell you the politics of making a cheeseburger, bro. You know, like, come on.
Yeah. Oh, this is interesting. It says, although some songs do refer to political events, i.e. the Misfits Bullet, which discusses the assassination of JFK. And then here's the last thing that it says. It says, and some artists like Jack Grisham on the left and Michael Graves on the right have espoused their own political views. Says that right there on the Wikipedia entry. Funny.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm positive. Sure.
Yeah. In any case,
not surprised at all.
In any case, so that's what the horror punk on Wikipedia says. Now let's go to Urban Dictionary real quick.
Oh shit, Jeff.
What?
I'm now wearing my sunglasses.
What's wrong with you, man?
I don't know, man.
No, we have so many comments to get through. Horror punk. All right, here we go. We have a definition. Horror punk is a dark style of music mixing gothic and punk rock sounds with morbid imagery. Often song topics are taken from horror movies, but the best horror punk creates atmosphere by telling tales through the song, usually with poetic lyrics. And then it says for its sentence, the Misfits are considered to be the first horror punk band.
Yeah.
Horror punk. Another term.
I agree with that as well.
Check this out. Horror punk. Another term for fiendcore and monster rock, a subgenre of punk with bands and songs.
Where are they calling it fiendcore? Where in what corner of the world does anyone refer to it as fiendcore?
Never heard it. Never heard it.
Never heard it. Yeah, I've never heard it.
All right, this is the third definition I'm going to read. Last one. Ready?
I get around.
I know you get around. You've been all over the place.
I've never heard fiendcore.
A genre of punk started in the early 70s by a man named Glenn Danzig with his punk band, The Misfits. There you go. So interesting. Interesting.
Short and sweet. I like that one.
Now,
I agree with all three, actually.
Now, before we continue on, before I get to this, because this is my smoking gun, Joe, but before we get to the smoking gun,
there's a smoking gun.
There's a smoking gun. I have a smoking gun against Sid
You got
Terror.
a smoking gun on this asshole's Devilock.
I do.
Or Vampire's Stake.
Not
Much
just
better name.
No, just
Much
taking
better.
credit for the horror thing. He takes credit for the horror thing. I didn't hear what you said.
You know what? Devilock is better. It's still a better name.
Joe, check this out. Do you know that on this podcast before you came on, I actually invented my own version of the Devilock? Ready?
A whole wave of music did that, and it really pissed me off.
Joe, you know what this is? That's an angel lock. It's an angel lock.
Why, Jeff?
Because it. Wow. Joe is not impressed at all. Holy crap. Look at that. Here I am thinking I'm going to make Joe laugh. Joe's going to go, Jeff, you're so funny.
Is there supposed to be a halo that I'm not seeing that's just supposed to like be
No,
there?
it's just like if a devil lock goes down, wouldn't an angel lock go up? I thought it was funny. Okay. So sue me.
I got you.
Oh, it went over your head. It went over your head. All right, hold on. So before we get to the smoking gun, let's get to some of these comments because we've been neglecting them. We got a lot of comments here. So Rue says, I agree that Discogs is legit. And what he means by that is Discogs is a good way to establish when something, is established, meaning that if they had a record from 1978, it would be on Discogs. And I agree with that. Rev says,
let's just say Discogs is user. The information comes, the user puts in the information.
I understand that, like Wikipedia.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Right. But do you not think that Sid Terror would have his stuff officially on there if it came out in 1978? I just think that people who might have this record would put it on there. I just don't think, I just think, I don't know. I think it's kind of ridiculous. Rev Carr says, it invokes taking your bangs and collecting them into one large spike. And yes, we know what it, Rev. We've been going over this. The devil lock is known as the devil lock during the Misfits. Blah, 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 blah.
Well, he posted this 25 minutes ago, so go easy.
Yeah, that's true. I'm sorry, Rev. You're right. Perfect example. Guys, we're going through. Dr. Chud had the worst devil lock. Newsflash,
I thought his was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool because it wasn't real, because it's not a real devil lock, everybody. It's a
Chud
fake
had a real devil lock. Don't listen to him. Chud had a real devil lock. He might have stopped having a real devil lock, but he had a real devil lock.
At one point in time, Chud had a real devil lock. Not anymore. Pete says,
I don't know
what about
it
that
anymore.
Dude from Laverne and Shirley? We went over that, Pete. You know that. Yes, that's true. He looks like he ripped off the Ramones now. What's up, Marco?
They did rip off the Ramones.
Jerry,
that's your ass.
Jerry was like, give me the devil lock, Sid. It's for the kids. Sid, give me the devil lock. It's for the kids. For the kids. We need a song. I don't know what that's in reference to, Mike. Sorry. Token. Wow, I don't even know how to pronounce that name. According to Glenn, there's a tribe in, yes, we are the same comments over and over again. Tribe in Africa called Flock of Devilocks. So if you're going to do a horror punk new wave band, it has to be called Flock of Devilocks.
Yeah, Flock of Devilocks.
that is too good, Michael. That is great. I love that. I think Jerry wanted to have a hairstyle. Like, yes, we know. So the Devilock is maybe. You think Danzig ever considered wearing a devil lock when they reunited back in 2016? I already went over this. I don't think that was possible, unfortunately.
I think he's past that.
He's past.
He wearing a devil lock in Sam Hain too.
In 99.
He doesn't need a devil lock. He doesn't have to wear stupid.
Right.
Danzig don't have to wear his hair stupid no more. He's Danzig. You know, he don't need to walk around with his hair in front of his face for you to know he's Danzig.
That's right. Dagger Love says the Misfits were death rock. That's cool. I can appreciate that.
They were.
In the 50s, it was called the DA. That's right. It's an exaggeration of the Potato Fry is right. In the DA is called a duck ass, which is the big coif of hair that looks like a duck's ass. That's where it starts from, really, truly. I'm so glad you got this case and sleuth. Yes, exactly. We lost our comment. Did Jerry steal the comb overlock from me? Hey, Kenneth, come on. Give Jerry a break, dude. You want to know something? Do you know what kind of dedication it takes to be nearly 60 years old and still be able to pull off a devil lock? I mean, he could probably kill you with his devil lock. That thing is probably so dense and hard that all Jerry only has to do is headbang. And he
what a fortunate decision. What a fortunate decision to have that be your thing if you're gonna go bald. You know,
right.
Like maybe he knew, you know.
You want to know something? The fact that he is still able to do one as good as it is, it's almost like a walrus lock. Like, if he just sort of could just hurt somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like Joe looks like Phil Anselmo with a devil lock. How about that, Joe? Hey. Okay, the Splatter Punks from Ohio started in 87 to 89 and began to re-record and re-release their catalog in 95, 96 after the Misfits 95. I didn't hear the term horror punk until after 2000. I've never heard of the Splatter Punks. Have you, Joe? I've never heard of this band.
Yeah, no, I've heard of a band called the Splatter Punks. Yeah, I thought you were referring to it as a genre.
No. As a matter of fact, you know what's the one band that nobody's spoken about? Joe, are you familiar with the 3D Invisibles, who were literally doing something just like the Misfits starting in like 1981? They were writing songs about horror movies and sci-fi stuff, and they're called 3D Invisibles.
I'm sure.
So, Fuck Yeah, the Animals are the Iron Maiden of horror punk. Yeah.
Do you think that it's such an original concept for a shtick for a band that only one could come up with it? I mean, do you think that the Damned ripped off the Misfits? Do you think the Misfits ripped off the Damned?
I think the Misfits were heavily influenced by the Damned, as well as the Ramones. As a matter of fact, I think that they took the Damned and the Ramones and they like.
There's a funny Misfits picture. It's popular. The Horror Business era, where Bobby's just straight, like on his leather jacket, got a Ramones pin. And it's like the poster has 4 dudes wearing leather jackets in a band, and he's got a pin with 4 dudes wearing leather jackets on his. Like, it's just so obvious. I like that specific picture.
Oh, is it that picture where they're like standing there, like from?
Yeah, it's against white. It's against white. Yeah.
Maybe I don't know. I don't know if I know this picture.
Yeah, you definitely do. It's a famous photo shoot. I own a poster of it.
But what's interesting? Okay, here's what the Misfits I think are doing that no other band did before them, and that everybody copied since. This is what makes the Misfits unique. They took. Eventually, after the 1977 art rock stuff, they took buzzsaw Ramones 3-chord punk rock and had melodic, doo-woppy, Elvis-y, whatever you want to call it, Jim Morrison-y, just crooner vocals on top. That's what the Misfits invented, in my opinion.
I think that the Misfits wanted buzzsaw Ramones guitars. I think that we got very close to buzzsaw Ramones guitars in their recordings. I think that's what they were aiming for, but I don't think that the original Misfits had buzzsaw Ramones-esque guitars.
That's how I describe it. When I think of, again, as a non-musician,
the 90s Misfits did.
I don't see. I think that sounds like cheese metal. That doesn't sound like buzzsaw Ramones guitars to me at all.
Oh, it's Johnny Ramone as fuck.
I mean, but this is what when I listen to Bullet, or not Bullet's a bad example because he's kind of.
Do you not recognize Johnny Ramone's playing? I'm sorry. Do you not recognize Johnny Ramone's guitar playing in, say, James Hetfield, for instance?
No,
because that's Johnny Ramone too. That is Johnny
absolutely
Ramone.
Not
Johnny Ramone.
And you want to know something? Like, not saying that that's not true. You're teaching me something that I don't know, but I'm telling you that this is where my musical language like stops. Where I'm saying
the Misfits didn't achieve buzzsaw Ramone style guitars. Like, I don't think the Misfits mastered the 8th note downbeat thing, the wall of sound thing.
I think you're arguing with me over semantics and of my words.
I'm getting specific now.
Wait.
Gotcha.
No, look.
I was being pretty specific.
Okay, so what I'm saying is Ramones style 3-chord, fast punk rock, whatever you want to call it, dude. Whatever you want to call it.
No, that's good. I'll go with that.
And then you have, crooning melodic vocals on top, where basically all the music is, it's a bed. It's just a bed for the vocal to surf on. And that's what I think they invented. Like the music is not like, out of this box, like revolutionary. It's the vocals. It's the vocals that are doing everything, And
the melodies.
Yeah. Last Caress, freaking Attitude.
They're very anthematic.
Exactly.
Folks tend to like songs where you tell them where to sing. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. and so that's why I think I
give the audience a part, You
right.
put
and
them
I
in
think
the band.
The Misfits
everybody's
invented
happy.
That, Joe. The Misfits invented that. Eraserhead. Never heard of this?
They didn't invent it.
Yeah, but Joe, you asked me a question. You said, what did the Misfits invent, or were the Misfits
They invented playing that style of music with a horror shtick and croony Elvis-y vocals. That's what they invented.
Right. They fused. You're right. That's one part of the picture. It's the juxtaposition.
A million bands musically sounded like the Misfits, and even like structurally sounded like the Misfits.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a good point too. And the other thing too is that the songs that they're singing, The songs that they're playing are punk,
they're
are pop songs. No, but they're pop songs.
They're pop punk. Yeah, pop. Yeah. They're doo-wop songs. But intro, verse, chorus,
right,
chorus, out. Peace.
Right. Michael says Eraserhead. Never heard of this band. 85 and 86 playing horror punk that sounded like a shitty Ramones covering Misfits songs. Don't know it. Never heard of it. Devilock came from Squiggy. We've heard. We've gone through that. Everyone knows it was Jerry Only. We do. We know that it was the squig tones. I like that. We do know it was Jerry Only, man. I thought I remember reading that Glenn said he got it from Eddie Munster. See, that's a thing. I think Glenn. I think
Eddie Munster's of course they got it from Eddie Munster.
These guys are on the same wavelength. Jerry's doing his version. Glenn's doing his version. They're trying to figure out the horror rock thing in 1979, the horror image thing that they're doing, and the hairstyles are forming as they do it. Somebody's asking if you're JV Bastid.
Nope.
Of Mr. Monster fame. Is that true?
Nope. Never heard.
It's in the Urban Dictionary. Wait a minute. Yeah, Timothy, this is not this guy's name is Joe. I don't know who JV Bastid of Mr. Monster fame is. The Cinema Set interview. Right. The Cinema Set's interview with Bobby Steele mentions who would be behind the bootleg albums and the responsible for his departed and curiosities. I can't read you.
What are you saying?
I don't know. Nothing. It's mostly apolitical, which is why I like it. Hold on, I'm just trying to get through these comments. The Zombie Mafia, another awesome horror punk band. I like the Zombie Mafia guys. They're nice guys. Nice boys from New Jersey. In the eyes of the cyborg, Michael Graves is by far considered a better singer than Danzig. Not going to touch that one. It's true that the Misfits stole the Crimson Ghost, Danzig skull from Christar. Yes. This is true. True.
Crystal,
Crystar. Morning Noises record was stolen from the Undead movie poster that you can totally see on the wall of Glenn's basement. That
is the most overused poster art in the history of horror punk.
It's true. I'm going to start using the term fiendcore.
I have 10 saved right now. Start collecting them.
You have 10 of them? What are you going to put out a book, Joe? Joe, why don't you do a book?
Of what?
Of all your stuff. Just call it like This is Horror Punk, the book, Just do it.
I get sued by that dude.
Which dude?
Thorsten. This is Horror Punk.
Right.
That's like his thing, man.
Sorry, Thorsten.
Trying to get me in trouble.
No, you could do a coffee book. Just call it like The History of Horror Punk or something, I don't know. Native Americans have devilocks too. You never know, Joe. You never know what comes down the pike. According to Glenn, everybody's saying the same 5 things about the Pushead interview. I am from Ohio. I've never heard of them. Are you talking about the Manimals? 90s Misfits should be given more respect than that.
Than what?
I don't know. I don't know what he's talking about. Yeah. Ha! That's right, Devil. Daggerlove is laughing. What's up, Caroline? How are you? Thank you for joining us. Michael Graves sounds like he has eggs in his throat. Okay. So now, Joe, here's my
eggs in your throat would probably be really nice to sing, actually.
Yeah, it keeps your vocals yolky. It gets yolky. Here we go. We have someone defending Michael Graves. Caroline says, Michael Graves isn't a bad singer, in my opinion. He's not as good as Danzig, but he's not a bad singer. Bad person, though.
Fantastic singer. He's not a bad person.
So anyway, here's my smoking gun. Here's my smoking gun, Joe. Let me show you this. This is what I want to show you, Joe. So Sid Terror and the Undead, as he nailed the coffin shut on the band, I wonder, is there life after Sid? Guys, I'm not going to get to any comments until after I show JV the smoking gun here. So here's this guy, Sid Terror, doing
the gun. This is the gun.
This is the gun. Ready? So he says, like their namesake, Sid Terror and the Undead returned to life a year ago. This is in 1988. to bring excitement to a decaying local music scene. Now, with their job still incomplete, the Undead have decided to call it quits and quietly slip back into their grave. While there was some semblance of life left in the band, Rave Up got together with Sid and bassist Hans Hunt to discuss the task that they'd chosen. This is a very short interview. I'm just going to read it real quick. Let me scan through it. Interestingly, Sid Terror and the Undead is breaking up only after a year of reforming. What's the reason behind the split? Sid: the band was put back together as a one-year experiment with a self-imposed expiration date of January 16th, 1988. The reason being that if we were not signed in that time, then we would move on. We almost made it. There was some interest from a few different labels, but it would have taken a lot more nurturing to get signed, and I'm not one for weighing my options and sticking to my own promises. Our final show was exactly 1 year and 1 day from our resurrection show, Rave Up. That was quite a lot of time between the breakup of the original Undead and this new version, of which Sid was the only original member. What happened during that time? Sid says, I just wanted to take some time off and work on my films. I do a lot of special effects work for films, and I want to get better established. Rave Up says, it seems like the first version of the Undead was a lot more punk, maybe even hardcore, than the new band. All right, ready for this? Here's your smoking gun. Sid says, I don't think we were ever hardcore because I never liked hardcore music. And for a very short time, I would even consider it a punk band. We started out making fun of a recently dead rock star, Sid Vicious, who I have a very slight resemblance to. This pissed off a lot of people, so we intensified it, just as a statement to say, stop taking yourself so seriously. Rock and roll is supposed to be fun. Our sound was based on raw rock and roll, with the subject matter being weird horror films. After all, we were horny teenage rock and roll delinquents who loved horror movies. I mean, right there, the fact that he's distancing himself from punk and hardcore just shows that, like, what did he really contribute to this idea or concept of horror punk to begin with? And I thought
the smoking gun was that he said that his band started after as a joke on Sid Vicious dying.
Right, which happened in 1979.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that, like, there's your other smoking gun. Exactly.
Well, to be fair, the Misfits just started rocking that image in 79, as you know. Like, they didn't have a reputation for what they have a reputation for in that pre-1979.
I would say that the Misfits fully came into the horror thing in the summer of 1979. That's when Glenn's wearing the skeleton shirt. And then it really becomes official. Right. And then it becomes the horror business art. Right. And then it becomes super official, that Halloween show, when Glenn
super official
puts on the grease paint, puts on the skeleton shirt, and they do the Halloween show at Irving Plaza. And then the Misfits are 150% a horror.
Emphasized into the spooky butterfly they are.
Yeah, exactly. Spooky moth. It would be a moth. Yeah, the spooky Mothman. Mothman, right? So then Hans says, well, sometimes actually we had a problem on our last tour of getting booked with a lot of hardcore bands opening up for us. Oh, he says, Rave Up says, because of the band's name, The Undead, did promoters tend to book you with dead rock shows? Hans says, well, sometimes. Actually, we had a problem at our last tour of getting booked with a lot of hardcore bands opening up for us. Sid says, which should not go well at all. I'd say that half the shows on the tour were misbooked. They really didn't know what to do with us. In Portland, we actually got on the bill with a speed metal band. They came up to us after the show and said, how do you guys keep playing so long and so hard? And we're not the kind of band that are super hard or super fast. Rave Up says, you mentioned film work earlier. I know you have a real passion for film and video. Is your music influenced more by films rather than by other bands? Sid says, sometimes. I listen to everything and I just assimilate it all. I don't set out to write one particular song, but for some reason, I see a film and a title will stick with me or whatever, and I'll use it for a song. And then Rave Up says, what's the most influential film for you? Sid says, Vampira films, Marilyn Monroe, Ed Wood films. My favorite film is Brian De Palma's Phantom of the Paradise. Now, the reason why that's interesting is because Phantom of the Paradise has a band in it. This is from 1974. Do you know what the name of the band is?
What, Jeff?
The Undead.
No way. Really?
Yes. Yes.
That's cool. It's
So
a cool band name.
But that's where he gets the name from. That's where.
Gotcha.
That's where the Sid Terror's The Undead comes from. His favorite film comes from that favorite film, right? That's what it is at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Rave Up. Don't you have some family history involved? Yeah, I'm not going to read the rest of this. That was basically it. So I just thought it was very interesting how, and then once again, there's not a single picture of this guy with his devilock hairstyle. He says that once the Misfits started doing the devilock hairstyle, that he stopped. But that would mean
my knowledge of this Sid Terror dude is I've heard of him before. I've heard with the Undead. I've heard of him via that time and those experiences. As I said, my friend Jason was friends with Sid Terror, and because we would all laugh about we would all laugh about the other Undead, like ha 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 ha, you know, like. And Jason would always stop me and correct me and be like, "Dude, that dude's for real." He's like, a good friend of mine told me that Sid Terror was a real cool dude. Just saying.
I'm not saying that Sid Terror.
I've heard that Sid Terror's. I'm not saying. I know you're not saying he's a bad guy, but what I'm saying is I've heard that Sid Terror is for real. Like he's legit. He checks out.
Okay. Well, here's what. It's funny you bring up the other Undead, or we're talking about Undead, because as it turns out, Sid Terror and Bobby Steele were in a lawsuit over the name The Undead in 2000.
Yeah, there was a big fight about it.
I had no idea.
2000 what?
No, 2006.
Dude, I've heard about them fighting about that in 2000.
All right, here's what's interesting. Ready? Here's what's interesting. This is the most interesting part, though. So they're talking about the case, and they're talking about the likelihood of confusion since both parties claim the use of the same mark, The Undead, for identical services in punk rock bands. The question was, who was Undead first, right? So here's what's interesting. In his application, Yeomans, that's Sid Terror says, stated a first use date in 1976 for his version of The Undead, but he failed to submit any evidence whatsoever and was seemingly stuck with the application filing date, which was July 30th, 2002. So just like on Discogs, there is nothing to show that there's like nothing on paper apart, I guess, from that interview I just read. There's nothing to show that Sid Terror was doing stuff in the late 70s. Just saying. There's nothing. He couldn't prove it in a court case. Mm-hmm. So his earliest mark was 2002. And you want to know who won?
They sued each other. They would have been better off going outside, like going out in front of where CBGB's used to be, and like having a switchblade fight than suing each other. Who's making any? You think Sid Terror or Bobby Steele are making any money with The Undead?
No. But this is enough money
to sue someone about. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, and this is what Bobby Steele had to say in opposing. Opposing Caulfield testified that he chose the name The Undead for a punk rock band in 1980 and started playing live shows under the name in late January of 1981 at the A7 Club in New York City. The board concluded that Caulfield had indeed established a first use date of January 30th, 1981. Now, normally the board would have concluded the opposer had priority, but the board hesitated because the opposer's own testimony raised the issue of whether the opposer has established an earlier prior use date for the applicant, meaning that Sid Terror could not prove that his earlier use was official, and therefore he did. Bobby Steele ended up winning the case, and that's why it's Sid Terror's The Undead instead of just The Undead.
Yeah.
This is a super quick thing. When did you first hear of the applicant? This is Bobby Steele. When I first heard of him was when we played with the Dead Kennedys, and after the show, then he gets interrupted. Let me just clarify that. That was sometime in mid-81, late 81. Bobby Steele says, right, that was mid-81. He says, okay. Bobby Steele says, and after the show, we were hanging out with the Dead Kennedys in the dressing room, and we were kind of like, just having a conversation, and Joel Biafra, lead singer of the Dead Kennedys, just like just like mention that, this is written with Bobby's syntax, like it's literally transcribed. There's a band in San Francisco called the Undead. Did you know that? And I was like, no. He said, I wouldn't expect you to, and that was the extent of it. It was just like, there's this other band out there, that is like written exactly how I could imagine Bobby saying it. It was probably a transcript. So before Jello Biafra told you about him, you hadn't heard of him being Sid Terror and the Undead. And Bobby said no. And then the last thing I'll say about this is anonymously Sid Terror, and I can't prove it, but I think it's Sid Terror. Someone else
anonymously.
Because it's an anonymous comment in this blog who says, actually, it was more like Bobby Steele got punked by Sid Terror. Sid had actually changed the band name to Sid. It's Sid Terror talking about Sid Terror's Undead. And then somebody directly underneath him goes, shut the fuck up, Sid Terror, who is also anonymous. It was probably Bobby Steele. Right? Because that's how that stuff works. Yeah. That's how that stuff works. Now, listen, I have to wrap this up because I have to get going. But before I do, I have another 10 minutes. I'm going to show you guys something. I promised I was going to show it. I'm going to show you guys something since we're talking about Devilocks. And since I made my promise, I'm going to keep it. Joe, I think you may have seen this a long time ago.
Is this going to be that? Is this going to be that highlight video of you over the years shampooing your hair with Devilocks?
Exactly. Obviously, Joe.
I've seen it.
Obviously. No. What this
1985. There's a little
yes, 1985.
In the bathroom.
Right.
He's in the bathroom. He's in a sink. His mom's doing his hair. He's got a little Devilocks.
That's right. I always had a widow's peak from the beginning.
1985.
All right. I'm going to show you guys this. Joe has seen this thing, I'm pretty sure. So, as you guys know, I was doing this movie, Return of Living Dead. They Came from Lodi, documentary about the Misfits. That's what this whole show is about. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, please make sure to subscribe to this channel, like, comment, yada, 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 to raise awareness about my documentary and the page. There's a Facebook page, yada, yada, yada. Well, way before I was ever on the internet talking about They Came from Lodi, I made a sizzle reel. Actually, you know who I made the sizzle reel for? I made the sizzle reel for Steve Zing, because when I had approached Steve Zing, he said, who did you get? And I had to prove to Steve Zing that I had people that would make Steve Zing want to do the interview. And I sent him the very first version of the sizzle reel. And that's what that's what gave Steve the confidence to accept my request and sit down for the interview, which was huge for me. It was a huge get. And that was the first time I met Steve. That's how I met Steve. And then I built and I expanded on it. And what's funny is I didn't add the very last parts, but what I did was I kind of just did like little topics, like what is 138 and what is a Devilock. And so what I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you a clip of the Devilock. This has never been seen anywhere ever, guys. This is the first time this is publicly being shown. It does have the song Devilock super low down in the mix. And I'm really scared that it's going to get dinged. And if it does, I'll simply have to cut it out at the end when I clip the thing.
Turn down the volume, and me and you can Beavis and Butthead it.
No, Joe, because we want to hear it. No, we want to hear everybody.
Gonna make you pay. Gonna
Devilock.
Yeah, dude.
Devilock.
It's a missed opportunity, man.
Let me ask you a question. Could you imagine Screamin' Jay Hawkins covering the song Devilock? Gonna make.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Gonna make you pay. Gonna rip your skull out. I have him. Devilock.
That's good.
Henry, man. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay. Theme album. I want Screamin' Jay Hawkins style Misfits tribute album with all covers done like Screamin' Jay Hawkins. So Screamin' Jay Hawkins doing
I don't know, man.
Last Caress. Doing Last Caress. I got something to say. I
don't think it's the time for that.
You're right. Okay, I'm going to play this thing though for everybody, and this is how we're going to end the show. Please like, share, subscribe, yada yada yada. All right, ready? Hold on. Joe, you're gonna be able to see this, but I'm taking us out of the ether here, so that way we can play the video file. Hold on. It's coming. This is going to be, I'm so excited to show this to people. Ready and go.
Is what you get. I know Jerry had a funny thing coming out of his head.
Oh, that braid, that, what is it? Not a braid, it's a...
little tail flip in front that became the signature.
A braid.
And sometimes we'd see them, and it would be down to here. And the next time you see me, it'd be down to here.
But down to here.
When I first saw the haircut, we thought they were called a devil's vein, and I don't know why. I'm so embarrassed.
And then they just like had this whole like thing hanging down, whatever, this little devil lock thing.
I don't even know what they call it, devil lock.
Glenn told me that Steve Zing's mother came up with it.
The mohawk goes up, the devil lock comes straight down.
It obscures their vision, obscures your vision of them, and it creates this mystique.
I guess after I left the band, he just got more extreme with it.
It looks inspired by Dracula or bats or something horrible.
You think if the devil has like the horns and then it's just like the two devil horns sort of combined.
It was a cool ass haircut that no one else had.
If you have long hair right here and you're in the pool or something like that, you just pull it down and fall out.
It's kind of like a rat tail in your face, honestly. You know what I mean?
And I always thought it was an inverted pompadour. I thought that's what they like.
That's what it is, yeah.
It helps you kind of tell where you're going. If you have the devil lock out in front of you, in between your two eyeballs, you can walk down the street better.
It just makes it look crazy, man. It makes you look like a wild man, like a drunk man or something. Running around.
That's it. Man, that's the first time anybody has seen that. Yay! Yay!
Yeah. I have seen that before somewhere. Well, anybody.
You saw that along. That's that part. That is only that's like a minute of a 13-minute thing, and that I can't show the whole thing. But I just wanted to show it because we're talking about devil locks, and
awesome.
And listen. If you enjoyed that,
I got excited to see Odorous on there, man.
That's right. Cool. That is unseen. No one has ever seen that Odorous stuff. That is first time ever. Yeah, dude, awesome. That is the first time. So, you know, like it's coming, guys. It's going to take a long time, but it's coming, and it's going to be full of those interviews and so many more. And you know, there's no Glenn, Jerry, and Doyle, but it's going to be good. It's going to be fun. And
never say never.
Never say never. That's true too. I mean, listen, if Glenn and Jerry can reunite and play and share a stage, then anything in life is possible, right?
Yep.
I think that that you could do anything in life.
Can we talk? Can we talk about the guy in the comments the other day who seemingly didn't know that the Misfits got back together?
Yeah, real quick. Let's do that.
I haven't stopped. Yes, I haven't stopped with that.
Yes.
Tell the story. I mean.
All right,
I guess we kind of talked about it in the thread.
I have a hard out at 9:35. That's when I am pulling the plug at 9:35. I saw all the comments, you guys, and I can't answer them all because we'll never get there. Or maybe after I tell the story. It's very simple. I don't know what Joe's making a bigger thing about this than it is. It's just a guy. Let me see if I can pull it up. It's just a guy. I posted this thing. The Misfits reuniting at the road to Riot Fest, right? It's like the Misfits reuniting to the road to Riot Fest and like go interviews throughout the years. And this one guy was just like something like, "Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it."
I'll believe it when I see it.
Here. I have it right here. Hold on.
One is left to think that this man.
You made a good point, Joe. You made a good point.
Sure. Because I made that point because I haven't stopped thinking about it since I've seen this. The guy's like, "I'll believe it when I see it." Now, one's to think from that.
Hold on. Real
saying,
quick. Yeah.
He'll believe when he sees a Misfits reunion. If that's what if that's what he's saying, this guy has been under a rock.
No, you said he might be in jail, and I think you're right.
That's the best I could make of it. Is that the guy just got like. He got out of the slammer because of COVID or something. You know, like
he says, "I believe it when I see it." And I said, "What are you referring to exactly? What don't you believe?" He says, "Dancing back with the Misfits."
Oh my God, he responded. I didn't even see that.
Yes, and then I said to him, I said, "Dude, is this comment from 5 years ago?"
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Could you
I thought
imagine?
it was pretty funny.
Wow.
I mean, just total jabron about it. And like, you know,
how did you miss that, dude?
Hold on, there was one other YouTube comment that was so hilarious.
Oh, we're just scrolling Facebook now.
I guess. Hold on, wait. I want to find this comment because it's so funny, guys. Join us on Facebook. We nerd out about stuff all the time. Here we go. This guy, Drew Vigil. This was an interview that I did with Damien from Sam Hain, who's also in my documentary. Damien was on Pizza Punk. Pete Marshall, super awesome dude. Damien, this is what he says, because we're pronouncing Sam Hain as Sam Hain. We're not calling it Samhain. Samhain? This is what Drew Vigil says. Wait, let me read this in a nerd voice. Wow, these guys don't even know what they're talking about. It's not Sam Hain. It's Saw Wayne. Saw Wayne is an old word, and that's how it's pronounced. I mean, it may read Sam Hain, but it's actually pronounced Saw Wayne.
You know, we should make fun of that guy.
Why?
Why? Because this fucking whole stupid scene was built upon that guy.
Is it?
Yeah. We're all a bunch of that guys. Actually, it was he said this. No, actually, Sid Terror did the Devilock before Bobby Steele.
Well, no, fuck that. No,
this
guy, no, this is not an actually. That was a running joke. When Joe and I were on tour together, it was always like every 5 seconds, actually. Me too, Mauricio, me too. I just responded, that's Damien, the guitarist of Sam Hain. So, like, you know, it was just like,
that comment's great. I know.
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh.
Joe,
sorry, man.
Oh my God.
Whatever.
Joe,
we're here now. It's all that matters.
Fine. We're here now. But it was just like with Steve Zing. Steve Zing came on the show for a few. I'm asking Steve questions, nerdy questions. Going, Steve, what's the deal with the blood on the cover of Sam Hain and Isham? And Steve explains it to me. The guy who's in the photo, who was there for the photo shoot. And what do people comment? Actually, I read somewhere that it was corn syrup. And
Glenn took those photos. Actually, Glenn took those photos.
I'm like, okay, but like, this is the guy who was there, like telling you what happened. Yeah. Like, shut up, shut the fuck up.
No, that comment, the Damien comment, as well as the comment yesterday with the I'll believe it when I see it, are the in the Hall of Fame of They Came from Lodi Premise Productions. Absolutely,
right.
That's the Hall of Fame top 2 comments right there.
All right, hold on. Let's go through these comments and we're going to call it a night. That's what we'll do. Ready? Let's see what we see here. Phantom of the Paradise is such a fun film. One of my all-time favorite films. No, Phantom of the Paradise, Joe, with the undead. That's what we were talking about.
Oh, yeah.
This kid, Timothy, he knows that your name is Joe. He says, yeah.
Damn
he
it.
said, yeah, his name is Joe. He said, by the way, Mr. Monster was a cool band. He says, okay, nice to meet you, JV Bastid. He said, who happens to sound like he is from that band, Mr. Monster? Lol. Ha ha. He would buy that. Yeah, okay. None of the jokes landed. Raphael, which ones? I mean, we were throwing them hot and fast tonight. We're so behind. This episode was epic beyond belief. Thank you, man. I'm glad you think so. I appreciate that. Another great show. Thank you, Peter. Really appreciate it. Yes, Guar, friggin' Dave Brocky, man. The nicest. Can I just say real quick about Dave Brocky? Doesn't know me out of a hole in the wall. I call him up. He gives me the address to the Slave Pit, which is the place where everything in Guar is made. I stop by. He lets me in. It's just me and Dave Brocky. Dave Brocky shows me around his entire facility. Awesome. Then he gets into the odorous makeup just for me while I'm setting up my camera and gives me 15 minutes of his time just to say a few funny things as odorous. And I was awesome. I was like, you are the coolest friggin', like, you are the nicest, coolest dude. And you want to know something? Had I known that he only had a few years left of life on this earth, tragically taken from us too soon, had I known that Dave was going to die, I would have interviewed him for an hour. And I only spoke to him for 15 minutes.
I don't know if he could. Has anyone interviewed Odorous for an hour?
I don't know.
Him as Odorous for an hour?
I don't know. You know what was funny when we were talking? He was like, so how should I forgot about this. I'm like, he's like, so should I do this as Odorous or should I do this as Dave? And I'm like, I think you should do, I didn't know how to answer. I was like, maybe a little bit of both. So sometimes he's answering as Odorous as Dave. Like we couldn't figure out the right way to do it. So it was this whole like thing, you know.
You made the right choice.
I think we did too. Yeah. The Devilock pointing down to hell. That's a good point, Thurston. It does point down to hell. I mean, you would think Jerry Only would be
opposite the angel lock, which is up.
Okay, now you understand the angel lock. You're finally picking up what we're putting down. The angel lock, Joe. It's the angel lock. Come on.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, Adam, you're way too late. We started 2 hours early, Adam. 2 hours early, buddy. Even Joe, I'm sorry.
Yeah, the show is earlier tonight, right?
Joe, yeah, but Joe, I apologize to you because I told you 7:30 and I should have said EST. I forget we're in different time zones, so I really can't put it on you. So, it's not your fault, not my fault,
I would have been watching the show. Well, no, I wouldn't have been on it.
Listen, it's all good. Guys, oh my God, but we have 5 minutes. All right, 5 minutes. We're going to make it to 2 hours straight. 2 hours straight, because you know me. I like to round off my numbers. 5 out. We're going to do 2 hours. 2 hours. That's what I have to say. So, Joe, what else is going on in your life? Joe and I are going to be doing another show in the future here. I'm trying to figure it out.
The commentary?
Oh, we got to do that too. Okay. Joe and I are going to do a commentary for My Pet Monster? Little Monster?
My Pet Monster. I haven't seen that. Yeah. I don't think I've watched it in years myself, man.
Great. That's going to be so fun. We're going to do Little Monster. My Pet Monster, you guys.
My Pet Monster, the movie.
My Pet Monster. Yes. Yes. That's what we're going to do.
It's bad.
That's okay. Bad is good, Joe.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's bad good.
If it was good, we might lose everybody's interest. And it's super old, so we probably won't get knocked by YouTube. Like
I don't think so.
Wiggly's video, her workout.
Did we get knocked on that?
No, we did not. We got away with that.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, no. That was a good call, Joe. That was a good call.
Yeah, Quigley's workout video. Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. And then
I think we even had some boobs in there at some point.
Joe, it's funny. You know what's funny? Somebody mentioned to me they were saying that I should, or they said they would watch if I did reaction videos to like albums and music. And so I'm thinking about diving into that realm. I don't know how. I don't know where or how to begin or what to do, but maybe Joe, you would be good for that. Maybe you should come and join me. And we can sort of look at music, decide what you can bring a musician's ear to it, and I'll just be the other guy doing my thing.
Anything you need me for, bud.
I appreciate it. Adam says, Joe, I just acquired a Mr. Monster Blitzkid Making Dates record today, finally.
Wow.
Is that a rare one?
For a while. It's pretty rare.
That's a rare one, right?
Exhuming graves and making dates. Yes.
I remember that guy Mikey. We were looking over his collection, and he had the biggest collection of stuff ever. And just going through all the records, he was getting all of his records signed. Remember, we were in Ohio, I think it was, and it was just a big old collection of stuff. It must have been probably worth a pretty penny now, right? Like all those records are worth hundreds of dollars.
It's crazy what it's worth, though.
I gotta sell my stuff. I've got so much out there. Should I just like let it accrue value? Or should I sell it? It just sort of gathers dust. I should do something with it. Maybe I could use it to raise.
Everything gathers dust. You gather dust.
It's true. It's true.
We keep you around, right?
For now, who knows? I'm gonna keep doing this YouTube channel for as long as you guys will keep watching. I'm ready to just take it to the next level. That's what I want to do. I want to keep this thing going as long as I possibly can, and I'll find a new topic to talk about. Like when
you'll never run out. You'll never run out, dude.
Thank you. Dagger Love has offered a demon offering. We thank you, Dagger Love, for your support to the channel. Thank you so much, dude. Really appreciate it. Dagger Love has been an incredible supporter of this channel, and I can't thank him enough. Truly, thank you.
Is it his best demon offering?
I don't know, but you know what? We appreciate monetary support like what Dagger Love just gave. So if you ever feeling froggy, you got a couple extra bucks from your stimulus check, you want to fork over this way, we're gonna
buy Jeff some coffee.
Buy me some coffee. Listen, I'll get a better microphone. We're gonna have a green screen. We'll have more graphics. We'll have unlimited streaming. Imagine shows that are 5 hours. Well, we've done 5 hour shows. Damn it!
I don't know.
5 hours.
I don't know if I want you to get a green screen.
Why not?
Because I know where it'll go. What will
happen?
Have like there'll be like lights and a smoke machine and fucking you'll be wearing a top hat and fucking you have like a bone in between your nose and welcome to Jeff's Misfits show.
Welcome. Jeff is gonna talk about the Misfits right now. Jeff is do you think Danzig cares? No, he doesn't care. Yo, I gotta get, that guy from New Zealand, Nigel from Horror Story. He wrote the other Lodi theme, and I want to marry the two together. So I'm gonna do that. That's donate awesome. 138, I donate 1380, but it won't let me. Man, I would just have to literally get up and sing the song "We Are 138" if you had done that. But listen, I appreciate this. Beggars cannot be choosers. I'm very grateful. I appreciate it, truly. Maybe Dagger is an okay dude. When did you not think he was an okay dude? Anybody who supports the creation of this stuff is okay. Holy shit, we hit 2 hours and 1 minute. It's time to go. So we say what we always say. We say peace and hair grease.
Hair grease.